Trust is one of the strongest forces in gaming, but when that trust is broken, it creates some of the most unforgettable moments in video game history. Today, we're counting down 10 characters who were betrayed by the people they trusted most. Number 10. Ezio Auditore de Firenze, Assassin's Creed 2. Ezio Auditore begins life as a carefree young noble in Florence. He has friends, he has family, and has a future. Then everything changes. A conspiracy forms around his family, and people his father trusted help make it happen. Almost overnight, Ezio loses his father and brothers. The betrayal doesn't just destroy his family, it destroys his innocence. For years, Ezio hunts those responsible, slowly uncovering how deeply corruption and deception have spread throughout Italy. What makes his story so tragic is that he learns an important lesson very early. The people closest to you are not always the people you can trust. That lesson shapes him into one of gaming's greatest protagonists. Number 9. Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur Morgan spends most of his life believing in Dutch Vanderland. Dutch isn't just a gang leader, he's a mentor, a father figure, a man Arthur would die for. And for years, Arthur follows him without question. But as the gang falls apart, Arthur begins seeing cracks in Dutch's vision. Dutch becomes paranoid, violent, unpredictable. At the same time, Michael Bell starts poisoning Dutch's mind. The worst part isn't that Arthur is betrayed, it's that he watches the betrayal happen slowly. Just like, seeing yourself getting killed slowly. He sees Dutch choosing Micah over people who have been loyal for years, and in Arthur's final moments, the man he trusted most refuses to stand beside him. It's heartbreaking because Arthur never stops caring about Dutch, even when Dutch stops caring about him. Number 8. Commander Shepard, Mass Effect series. Commander Shepard is humanity's greatest defender. After dying and being brought back to life, Shepard works closely with Cerberus and its mysterious leader, if I pronounce it right, the Elusive Man. At first, their goals seem aligned. Both want to protect humanity, both want to stop the Reapers. But over time, Shepard discovers the truth. The Elusive Man isn't trying to save humanity. He's trying to control the Reapers. Power matters more to him than people. It reminds me of the book 1984 by George Orwell. The alliance, finally, turns into a conflict. The man who once funded Shepard's resurrection becomes one of the greatest threats to the galaxy. It's a betrayal built on manipulation from the very beginning, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Number 7. Talion, Middle-earth's Shadow of War. Talion and Celebrimbor spend years fighting side by side. They share a body. God, I love that game. They share a body, a mission, and of course, they have the same purpose. Together, they challenge Sauron's forces and build an army capable of changing Middle-earth, but eventually, their goals stop aligning. Talion wants freedom, Celebrimbor wants domination. And when Talion refuses to enslave Middle-earth, Celebrimbor abandons him. Just like that, years of partnership vanish in an instant. The betrayal hurts because Talion sacrifices everything for their mission, his family, his future, his humanity. What the hell is going on in here? And in the end, the ally he trusted most chooses power instead. Number 6. Corvo, Attano, from the game Dishonored. Corvo Attano begins Dishonored as the loyal protector of an empress. Yeah, I'm right. After she's murdered, by the way, Corvo is framed for the crime. Eventually, he escapes prison and works alongside a group known as the Loyalists. Loyalists, yeah. I've forgotten about this game. Loyalist it was called. They promise justice, they promise revenge, and Corvo delivers. One by one, he eliminates their enemies. He risks everything for their cause. Then, when their victory is finally within reach, they betray him. They poison him. They abandon him. And they attempt to erase him from the picture. The people who called themselves allies never intended to share power. Corvo was just a tool. And once they were finished using him, they tried to throw him away. As simple as that. Number 5. The Prince from the game Prince of Persia, Warrior Within, The Two Thrones. The prince's life becomes a cycle of manipulation and broken trust. Every decision he makes seems to create another disaster. People he relies on hide the truth. Prophecies mislead him. Alliances fall apart even when he believes he's saving the future. He's often being guided toward outcomes he doesn't fully understand. His journey is filled with betrayal, not always from enemies, but from people he thought he could trust. Over time, the prince becomes isolated. I wish being isolated for no one. He stops relying on others. He begins questioning everything. The result is one of gaming's most emotionally exhausted heroes. A man constantly fighting not only monsters and fate, but deception itself. Number 4. John Marston. Red Dead Redemption. John Marston wants one thing: a peaceful life with his family. The government promises he can have it. There's just one condition. He must hunt down the members of his former gang. So John does exactly that. He risks his life. He tracks old friends across the frontier. He completes every task demanded of him. Finally, it seems like his nightmare is over. Then the government betrays him. The promise was never real. The deal was never meant to be honored. Agents surround his ranch. His family is targeted, and John pays with his life. It's one of the coldest betrayals in gaming history, because John kept his side of the bargain. The people in power never intended to keep theirs. Number 3. Big Boss, Metal Gear series. Big Boss spends his life serving causes larger than himself. Nations, organizations, ideals, and again, those causes betray him. His story is filled with deception. Friends become enemies, allies become conspirators, people he trusted manipulate events behind the scenes. Every betrayal pushes him further from the hero he once was. Over time, Big Boss stops believing in governments, stops believing in institutions, stops believing in loyalty itself. The tragic irony is that each betrayal changes him into the very kind of figure he once opposed. His fall isn't caused by one betrayal, it's caused by a lifetime of them. Number 2. Sarah Kerrigan, StarCraft. Sarah Kerrigan's betrayal is legendary. She serves under Arctress Mengs, if I pronounce it right. She follows his orders. She helps him achieve victory. Then Mengs abandons her. Deliberately, knowingly. He leaves her behind to be overwhelmed by the Zerg. Not because he has no choice, because it benefits him. What follows changes gaming history. Kerrigan survives, but she isn't rescued. She is transformed. The woman who was abandoned becomes the Queen of Blades, one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The betrayal destroys her old life and creates something terrifying in its place. Without Meng's betrayal, Kerrigan would never have become the legend players remember today. Number 1. Carl Johnson, CJ, from the game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. CJ returns to Los Santos, hoping to rebuild his family and restore Grove Street. Oh shit. The hell is happening again? Here we go again. He believes the people around him are still loyal, especially Biggest Smoke, especially Ryder. They are not just associates, they're family, or at least that's what CJ believes. Then the truth comes out at the end of the game. Big Smoke and Ryder have been working against Grove Street. They have been helping rival gangs like Balasa and those Mexican ones, I don't know. Helping corrupt police officers like Tempany, helping destroy everything CJ is trying to protect. The betrayal hits so hard because it's personal. This isn't politics, this isn't war. These are people CJ grew up with, people he trusted with his life. Watching that trust collapse is one of the most memorable moments in gaming history, because sometimes the worst enemies aren't strangers, they are the people who already know your name. So be careful. Last time we talked about characters who lost their humanity. This time we saw what happens when trust is shattered. If you haven't watched that countdown yet, check it out next. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep gaming breakdowns. And if you subscribe, you won't miss anything original I publish next. Thank you for staying with me through the end of the video. Take care as always, and farewell.